Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my starting 11 prediction for our game against Granada in the Europa League quarter-final first leg. So in goal, I'm going to go with Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson has been in goal for the last 7 games in a row. I think he's now our number one. And I said he's reliable enough to be our number one because he has got that experience behind him. He's done very well in the games he's been involved in this season. You know, he's kept a lot of clean sheets. He's made good saves. His distribution's been good. And he's also made some good aerial claims. Before the start of this season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Manchester United and he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He's also had other loan spells before. Dean Henderson was obviously in net against Brighton recently. He made a good save to deny Danny Welbeck, but he couldn't do out about the rebound. He looked shaky though from corners against Brighton, and there was also one part where he dropped the ball from a cross. At right back, I'm going to go with Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka obviously played against Brighton. I thought he was poor against Brighton. Obviously, he was at fault for Danny Welbeck's goal because Wan-Bissaka lost Danny Welbeck completely. And he lacked attacking intent. And we need to see more attacking intent from Wan-Bissaka. There's been some games this season where he's played good and he's showed some good attacking intent. He's got in some very good positions and he's put good crosses into the box. And defensively, more or less, he's been superb. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. Now, the 2 centre-halves, I'm going to go with Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Victor Lindelof obviously played against Brighton. I thought his performance was very average against Brighton. He's only endured some good games at Manchester United. I think in the vast majority of his games, he's been too inconsistent. You know, Lindelof's been at the club quite a few years now. We got him in a deal worth £31 million from Benfica. Harry Maguire, I thought he was very, very good against Brighton. Defensively, he was good. He got forward well. And he made a vital interception towards the end of the first half. Harry Maguire, though, was lucky not to concede a penalty. Because he did bring Danny Welbeck down. Harry Maguire has endured quite a few good games at Man United, but he's also endured bad games as well. But he wasn't worth the £80 million we got him for. He's the second most expensive sign at the club, and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. At left-back, I'm going to go with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is our first choice left back, despite the arrival of Alex Telles last summer. Luke Shaw has been player of the season by far. You know, he's shown good attacking intent. He's got into very good positions. He's put good crosses into the box. Provided width and defensively, he's been superb. I think Luke Shaw is going to be getting a new contract. It said earlier on this season that we was preparing to enter contract talks with Shaw. I think Shaw's got like 2 years left on his current contract. Shaw's been at the club over 6 years. And he's had a good career at Man United apart from his injuries. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay. Paul Pogba did start against Brighton. That was his first start in the Premier League for over 2 months because Paul Pogba was out with a thigh injury for a long time. And we have been getting the best out of him in recent months. He was good against Brighton, was Pogba. He obviously got the assist for Mason Greenwood's winner. Against Brighton, Paul Pogba was playing in a deeper role. I'm not really keen on him in that deeper role. I prefer him in more of an advanced role, like on the left wing, because that's where he's more effective. Paul Pogba could leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. But there again, he could stay potentially past the summer. He has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with a return to Juventus. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to PSG. And he's also been linked with a move to Real Madrid before. I think there's a good chance he'll go back to Juventus. Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with them before he rejoined Manchester United. And Juventus are obviously keen on a Paul Pogba swap deal. It recently said they was willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in exchange for Pogba. And it says Juventus willing to offload Aaron Ramsey and Adrian Rabiot to afford Pogba. And Fabrizio Romano said that Juventus are refusing to give up on re-signing him. Now, apparently, Juventus have told Mino Raiola they cannot afford Paul Pogba. So, reflects on that, it says Paul Pogba will not be making a return to Juventus. And it says Paul Pogba could still sign a new contract at Manchester United. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out recently and said that Paul Pogba's future lies at Manchester United. Ole did say earlier on this season he hopes that Paul Pogba will stay and sign a new contract, and we have been in contract negotiations with Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's current contract expires next year, because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. So if Paul Pogba stays potentially past the summer, there's a good chance he'll leave for free next year unless he signs a new contract. Now, Damasio said not so long ago that Pogba's got no intentions of extending his Man United contract, and he said his preferred destination is Juventus, because it still said he wants to quit Manchester United. Now, Mino Raiola has been desperate to get his client out of the football club. He did say earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season at Man United. And he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. The other week, Mino Raiola criticised Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with Mino Raiola criticising Ferguson. And he also came out and said he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't send another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. He made an announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba, saying that, his career is over, he's unhappy, and he has to leave, and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother, he came out earlier on this season and advised us to sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window because he said there's a good chance he will leave on a free next year, and he said he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. This is Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined, and he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. Scott McTominay, he didn't start against Brighton, but obviously came on. I think McTominay will come in for Fred for this one. He's a decent player, McTominay, but he's not at that level where we want him to be at yet. question is, can he emulate to that level? You know, McTominay's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. I think his best game this season by far was a 6-2 win against Leeds. He also did well in the FA Cup third round against Watford, and he did well against Southampton. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract, so he committed his future with the club. Ahead of them two, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandez in the number 10. Bruno Fernandez obviously played against Brighton. He put a pretty good performance out, but it wasn't his best performance. Bruno Fernandez did have an argument with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer during the Brighton game. Bruno Fernandez has actually slammed our poor home form this season. Bruno Fernandez did get the assist for Marcus Rashford's equaliser. Fernandez is our best player, and he's the best signing we have made since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. He's been at the club over a year. In a lot of Bruno Fernandez's games at Man United, he's been very, very consistent. But there's also been quite a few games where he has looked off the pace, but we actually have overplayed him. But Fernandez earlier on this season denied that he needed a rest because he wants to help the club win trophies. He said he'd come to Manchester to win trophies, and Fernandez did say on his 12-month anniversary back in January that he's planning on spending many years at the club. He's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Bruno Fernandez was refusing to sign a new contract until he had assurances over the club's transfer plans. Says was prepared to double his wages to £200,000 a week. Fernandez's current contract with us expires in 2025. There's an option to extend for a further 12 months. We initially paid £47 million for him in January last year, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Donny van der Beek. I think he'll get given a start. Now, Donny van der Beek has played nowhere near as much as I expected. You know, most of his appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. He's actually had more starts in the cup competitions. Now, I think there's a very, very good chance that Donny van der Beek will leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. I think we need to get rid of him because he's not getting enough opportunities. If he was getting enough opportunities, then I'd definitely say, yeah, keep him because he is a good player. It says that Man United are considering a Donny van der Beek swap deal. And 2O Sport recently said that we are willing to offer Donny van der Beek to Juventus in exchange for Adrian Rabiot. Mark Hughes was talking about him not so long ago. He said he feels lost at Man United and he's edging closer to a Man United exit. Ronald de Boer has backed Donny van der Beek to be a success at Manchester United. But earlier on this season, it said Van der Beek still feels loved at the club despite his lack of game time. Earlier on this season, it said that Donny van der Beek wants to quit Man United after 1 season due to his lack of game time, and he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future. ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van der Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. And Solskjaer made an admission earlier on this season saying that Donny van der Beek is unhappy due to his lack of game time, but promised him more game time at Man United. Got him in a deal worth $40 million from Ajax last summer. He's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. He was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder when he was at Ajax. He can play as a number 10 and he can also play out wide. He was out with injury for us for a while, don't forget. That wasn't so long ago. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Daniel James. James didn't start against Brighton, but he did come on. James has got his way back into the team. He's played a lot of football in the last month or so. Because at one point, he lost his place in the team, didn't he? And there was rumours of Man United possibly letting Daniel James go. I like Daniel James on the left because that's where he's supposed to be more effective. We got Daniel James in a deal worth £18 million from Swansea, didn't we? And up top, I'm going to go with Edison Cavani. Edison Cavani did start against Brighton. He had a kick in the game against Brighton because he didn't get enough service and he looked very, very isolated. There's been some games where Edison Cavani has looked isolated, but in a lot of his games, he's actually been very consistent. A lot of United fans would like Cavani to stay for next season, but looks like he's not going to be staying for next season because Footballer Insider recently said that Cavani is willing to take a pay cut to join Boca Juniors. He already has a verbal agreement with Boca Juniors. We recently held showdown talks with Edison Cavani over his future at the club and want to convince him to stay. Edison Cavani's current contract expires at the end of this season. We do have an option to trigger his contract for a further year. The Uruguay coach has actually urged Edison Cavani to leave. Solskjaer said earlier on this season he's hopeful that Cavani will stay, and he revealed that we had been in contract negotiations with him, but Ollie said that Cavani's closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Man United. And his father said earlier on this season that Cavani's unhappy, he's not comfortable in England and he wants to leave. But, you know, we got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with the club with an option of a second year. So anyway, that's how I think we could line up against Granada on Thursday night. We have got some injuries. Martial, he's out with injury. Solskjaer said he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Martial sustained this injury when he was on international duty with France. Marcus Rashford has got an injury. He came off injured against Brighton. Obviously scored our equalising goal. So he's a doubt for this game against Granada. Obviously, we'll know more when Solskjaer does his press conference. Phil Jones, obviously he's out with injury, but he doesn't get in our team anyway. Juan Mata's still out. Merritt Bay's not available because he's out with COVID. This is a massive game for Manchester United against Granada. You know, the Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season. Solskjaer has to win a trophy at Manchester United because that marks progress. He's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. So if we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'll be exactly 4 years without a trophy. But even if we fail to win the Europa League, Solskjaer is not getting sacked. So I can assure he will be here in the summer transfer window and he'll be Man United manager next season. I said he does deserve another season because progress has been made in certain aspects. We progressed to the Europa League quarter-finals by obviously beating Real Sociedad in the round of 32 and we beat AC Milan in the round of 16. We got to the Europa League semi-finals last season and we lost 2-1 to Sevilla. We won the Europa League back in 2017. We beat Ajax in the final 2-0 and that was under the Jose Mourinho era. Granada, they're sitting 9th in La Liga. Their current manager is Diego Martinez. I think this is the first ever time we're going to be playing Granada. Granada got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League by obviously beating Napoli in the round of 32, and they beat Molde in the round of 16. Molde is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's former club. Now, Luis Suarez, he currently plays for Granada. He's one of their key players. I think he's actually got an injury at the moment. Don't think he's going to be playing in this game. They've got Soldado. He's their joint top goal scorer. Soldado is a former Tottenham player. They've also got Milenio, whatever you pronounce his name. He's also their joint top goal scorer. They've also got Kennedy. And yeah, they have got quite a few injuries. They've got Dimitar Falquir out. They've got Nedar Lozonio out. They've got Louise Miller out. They've got Alberto Sora out. Suarez is out. Charis. And Pepe Sanchez is doubtful. Granada recently lost 3-0 to Villarreal. But yeah, like I say, we're coming into this game on the back of a 2-1 win against Brighton. It was a poor performance by Manchester United in the first half, but I thought we improved in the second half. Reflect on that win against Brighton. I think that now assures us a top 4 finish. There's a good chance we'll finish second this season. If we don't finish second, we'll finish third. But that's not good enough if we fail to win the Europa League. Prior to the game against Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final, we was 14 games unbeaten. Yeah, we've got a massive game at the weekend against Tottenham. Now, Manchester United will spend big in the summer transfer window, according to recent reports, but Solskjaer wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. I've already said Solskjaer needs around £200 million if he's to get the players he wants to recommend in. We should be making around 3 or 4 signings in the summer. I think Man United need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic. But I think Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window. Because obviously Woodward believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. He released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So in that aspect, Woodward is backing him. And in general, Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole. Like I said, our board have got a soft stance on Ole with him being a club legend. Obviously, we've got John Murtaugh, he's our director of football. And we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And they both know the club through thick and thin. But like I say, there's a lot of players that Man United are looking at. Now, obviously, you know the news on Erling Haaland. Narratives have been coming out today saying that Man United have culled their interest in Erling Haaland. We are prioritising 2 deals. We're looking to get a right winger and a centre-half instead of Erling Haaland. It recently said that Erling Haaland was our number 1 transfer priority. Borussia Dortmund's CEO has come out and said that Dortmund are planning next season with Haaland. there's so many clubs that are in for him. We recently declined to meet Erling Haaland's agent Mini Oriola over discussing a possible deal for Haaland. Erling Haaland, his agent and his father have already been to England for talks with several Premier League clubs. Not so long ago they held talks with Barcelona and Real Madrid. Narratives came out a few weeks ago saying that Solskjaer kept calling Erling Haaland to persuade him to join Manchester United. He did say earlier on this season he was following Erling Haaland's progress and keeping in touch with the player. Solskjaer said in his press conference prior to the Brighton game that he's played down talks of Man United chasing Haaland, and he said Haaland will make his own mind up. Ollie revealed how impressed he was with Haaland in training when he was at Molde, but he admitted that he struggled with bad knees at Molde. Back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. It said a few weeks ago that Dortmund had revealed their asking price. It was 154 million. Dortmund are going to find it extremely difficult if they are demanding that much. Erling Haaland's father has been talking a lot about his son's transfer links to Man United, and he's spoken about his son's career and his prospects. There's a good chance Haaland will leave in the summer transfer window, especially if Dortmund fail to qualify for the Champions League. Erling Haaland does have a £68 million release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. You know, Haaland has been at Dortmund over a year now. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. But the reasons I'd take him at Man United is because he's young, he's got a lot of development in him. He'd dramatically improve us because he'd assure his goals, and plus he knows Ole Gunnar Solskjaer well. You know the news on Jadon Sancho already. Yeah, I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Ousmane Dembele. You already know the news on Raphael Varane. We are going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. It looks like De Gea is going to be leaving in the summer transfer window because it says that De Gea has made his transfer decision. He's preparing to leave Man United, and we are set to pay off his huge contract. We've set the price for De Gea. It's £50 million. There's 3 clubs that are chasing him. That's PSG, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. But I reckon now De Gea's had his years at Manchester United. But maybe some Man United fans think it's a mistake by letting him go. Jones, I'm expecting him to leave. Could we offload Axel to Tuanzebe because he doesn't get in R11? You know, will we offload Eric Bailly? It recently said we want just £17 million to let Eric Bailly leave for Inter Milan. I think we'll be looking to get rid of Europa permanently. He's out on loan at AC Milan at the moment. Pogba could still leave. I think there's a good chance we'll offload Matic because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders. Donny van de Beek, good chance we're going to offload him. Juan Mata, good chance we're going to offload him. Edison Cavani, looks like he's going to leave. And a lot of United fans are saying that we need to sell Anthony Martial because Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. As you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has agreed to sign a new 3-year contract worth £30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. Sources at Old Trafford did say earlier on this season that talks were set to begin any day on the new deal because Solskjaer's now into the final year of his current 3-year contract. A lot of United fans disagree with us giving him a new contract because I can almost assure he won't see it out anyway. Does he deserve a new contract? In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, no. But I can assure Ollie he's not the long-term manager for Manchester United. This is Ollie's second full season at the club. And he's been Manchester United manager now over 2 years. So reflecting now on he's been at the club, he's gained some managerial experience. He's learnt quite a bit on the job. He's tried a few different elements. I reckon that Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.